kept it going.
Do you know who else is on the edge?
Tell me.
Everyone watching from home right now, because game number 5 is going to be underway very, very shortly with the best StarCraft you could possibly ask for here at Intel Extreme Masters. Gyeonggi.
Even production, who's actually giving us message, says game start with 4 exclamation points.
4.
They're really
It
excited.
used to be 1, guys.
Yes,
And
it's 4
they've
now.
quintupled the amount of exclamation marks because production is out of control here at the OGN studios.
Well, we all love StarCraft, even production does. And they're super, super excited. Game is about to start. And that 5th game is going to be on Newkirk Precinct.
The final battleground for this incredible series. Newkirk. And let's get into it, guys. Cannot wait to see who wins this and gets into the semifinals against Innovation. Let's go. In the bottom right here, the best Zerg in the world. It is Dark. I'm doing the other one as well, Funker. I'm taking it away from you.
Okay. Just go for it.
Just sit down, buddy. I've got
Just go
this.
for it.
And in the bottom left, the world champion, is ByuN. Woo. Yeah.
Woo! All right, game 5 on a pretty huge map. So we could get that really super late game actually going on that 5th game.
Yeah.
Because we got the biggest map in the map pool right there for that 5th game. Really macro oriented. It's not gonna change anything in terms of actually Dark going for the gas pool again. So might go for a Roach Ravager push again.
Yep, did that for sure on Overgrowth, I believe. Worked out pretty well for him.
What about Bailing Bust? Is that something that you could make work?
You don't see it as often, but it certainly would be pulling a fast one. I won't say it won't happen because I'm sure Bailing Bust exists somewhere.
I'm always wondering because that would be such an explosive way of finishing the series, but also because the natural ramp is so wide, it's gonna be super hard to get a decent
really
wall
point,
up.
yeah.
So might come into play. We'll definitely see what Dark has in store for us in a couple of seconds when that spawning pool finishes.
Yeah, it'll be a Queen or a Roach Warren.
2 Zerglings. And a Queen.
Is it again like a Queen by accident that he cancels and drops a Roach Warren?
Speed.
Speed.
All
okay.
right.
Ooh.
All
so
right.
this is kind of like a Ling Flood thing.
Yeah, it could be Ling Flood too.
Because like you mentioned, that ramp is very, very open, so it's hard to wall off, and you can deny a low ground expansion, which is what ByuN's going for here.
Yeah. And, getting your early 4 Marines surrounded by a gazillion Zerglings is something that...
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it will break your mind instantly as a Terran player. And ByuN, just going for the usual strategy. He used it 3 or 4 times already in this best of 5. Just going for the double drop strategy with that early second racks into the factory that's just been dropped down. And I kind of want to see production right now because I want to see when Dark is actually going to produce those units. Probably a lot of Zerglings. That would make sense to me.
When he sees that low ground expand, I feel like we're going to see a fair few Lings here come out of Dark with that lava getting up there. Yeah, here they come. It's just it's not a huge amount just yet. He's actually just not making as many Lings as I expected here. He's actually droning a lot more than I thought he would.
No, probably just a safe opening then, but...
it's such a high-tech safe opening, though. Like, getting speed so early and not being able to utilize it. Like, yeah, I mean, speed Zerglings are amazing against holding Reapers, but if you let the Terran wall off, they're just not that good anymore. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. And too bad for ByuN because he actually gets scouted, even though he had Marines in place. Well, Marines in the main, so just a little sloppy, I would say, because he could have hidden his strategy a little bit longer. And as I mentioned in Game 4, still no overload speed, so it would have been really hard to properly scout the strategy, even though the 2-on-1 is highly expected. And that's when I want to see something different. For instance, there's a build, I think Uthermal and Marine Lord have been using it quite a bit, which is a transition into Hellbats after the double drop. So you basically give the reactor to the factory again after the 2 early medivacs to build a Hellion count and then go for a straight up push with Marines and Hellbats.
Looks like Roach Ravage still on the cards here for Dark, so not going to be Ling Bane mutas we've seen a couple times. Roach Ravager game went in Dark's favor last time we saw it, but that was a smaller map and also a timing-based attack there. This is a little bit different here. ByuN's going to have a little bit more room to breathe, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
With Dark's transition here.
but we also have a pretty quick lair coming out from Dark, so
could be quickly getting roach speed and that sort of thing for being aggressive with them.
He's got 4 geysers right now, being
I wonder if it's
harvested.
roach muta or something like that.
Yeah, it could be. That's something he showed in the past. Now you mentioned the Corruptor compositions that he used to do in HOTS. He used to be with Roach and Banelings, like Roachling, Baneling, Corruptor was a build that he was using. So we'll see if he tries to utilize the Spire Tech, which would be super interesting in this game because there's a lot of room to drop around. And when you don't have anything in the air, you're gonna get abused by medivacs.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's actually using that early gas to get the Ravages and the Gleeler Reconstitution or the Roach speed. And ByuN's finding a lovely position here. He's going to probably get that Overlord. Oh, nope. Doesn't want to lose any units here. Rightfully so. And that's 2 full medivacs this time. Generally, he has the two Marines still at home waiting.
Okay. No, that Overlord's not going to go down.
Overlord, ByuN.
Yeah,
I mean, Ravages
losing
a
couple of Ravages, that's actually way better. And that's an amazing pickup for ByuN. Like, that's just like such a high value unit. Like the Ravager is just deceptively expensive. Like you don't think about it, but it actually costs a lot.
Because it's the cost of a Roach plus the cost of the Morph.
Exactly.
So yeah. 7 more Roaches coming out here for Dark. He's going to have a pretty scary army soon, especially when Roach speed finishes. And his creep spread again. It's pretty impeccable. ByuN though, denying 1 Shroom on the south and 1 on the north is going to be okay. Can't hit from the north and the south, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. He could use a scan right there. He has like he had a pretty decent opportunity, but he's actually gonna boost towards the main. That's something Gyeonggi used against Dark, and he actually dealt a lot of damage with it, steaming the Marines as soon as they go out from the medivac, targeting 5 drones, 6 drones, and he's gonna go back, probably not losing that medivac. That's gonna be so
with
14 HP.
With the medevac surviving with 14 HP and killing 6 drones, I feel like that is absolutely worth it. A brilliant trade there for ByuN.
Yep. Adding 3 more Raxes, an armory, so not gonna waste that much time on the 2-2 transition because that's something you can totally forget, and that's something that's so hard to come back in a TVZ, which is a really based around upgrades. And speaking of upgrades, did you see melee +1?
I did see that.
No range.
So
no range.
It's pretty interesting to go make so many Roaches and I guess so many Ravages. He's only down 4 now because he did lose a few. And then try and go for a tech switch here. And but you know what will help him? The Infestation Pit that's coming down.
Yep. And probably gonna go for a fast Ultralist tech. That's the only thing that would make sense in my opinion. We'll see. He can also drop down a Spire as the Infestation Pit finishes and he starts the Hive.
Well, Ultralisks are not as good as they used to be. I mean, they do actually hatch with a bit more armor to be able to, to be fresh out of the packet, a lot more useful than an unupgraded Ultralisk. But their maximum upgrade leaves them with 1 less armor point. Does mean that they are a little bit easier for Terran to deal with, but make no mistake, they are still an extremely scary unit, especially when coupled with the Infested.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because before the Marines wouldn't do any damage to them. So the 2-2 is on the way, for the Terran player. He's not going to get any damage done here. Just targeting a Baneling, just, for the fun of it, because I can,
Yeah,
I can target it in just half a second, so I'm going to do it,
Yeah.
Just living with all these units and probably going to try to pressure that 4th. I don't even know if he knows about it. Probably not, actually. But he might feel it. He might sense it. And at the same time, Hive, Burrow, and the speed upgrade for the Baneling. So just, building everything at the same time, Dark that is. 66 drones, didn't overdrone that much, not on the 75 count that he used to have on Echo. Just gonna go for something quite discreet. Just gonna go for the 66 drones and going for the late game take.
And a little bit different here is ByuN sort of chilling in Tier 2 while Dark's the one going for Tier 3 pretty quickly. A little bit different than the other 4 games we've seen in the series so far. ByuN's hitting with a very scary army here. 4 tanks, maybe more tanks. 4 tanks, 44 Marines with 1-1 are going to be able to do a fair bit of damage if they find a nice position here.
I love that Dark didn't take the natural 4th base because that position is so huge with tanks. But those infestors,
if they get
can
the
he
tanks,
get them? Oh!
The infestor vials, the Ravager vials could actually end this army here for ByuN. They only get 1 tank.
1 tank and a couple medivacs. That was a really great play by Dark, who still lost a couple of drones at the same time by a drop on the northeast side of the map. But as I mentioned, I love the fact that he didn't take the 4th base on the bottom side, because the tanks would have been so useful in just pressuring that base over and over again, right here, right there, on the high ground, just on top of that 4th base. So taking the one on in the north is actually working pretty well for Dark. But way more units just coming across the map for ByuN, just trying to pressure a little bit more, and already going for the 3rd upgrade, the +3 attack on the Marines and Mauer.
Looks like there's a couple fungals in that Infestor armor at the moment. I mean, they are generating energy as we speak, and Dark, the king of run-bys, those banelings are getting made here for that 3rd CC mineral line of ByuN. ByuN gearing up, leapfrogging those tanks a little bit, getting closer and closer, creeping forward, no pun intended, to that 4th hatchery.
Okay, will he react on time? The turret is gonna give him a heads up, and yeah, those Marines are instantly steamed in. Only 6 SCVs. I mean, that could have been less, but it's also like not that big of a deal, I guess.
They're very damaged SCVs, and there is a flood of links coming in here. Very, very easy to nibble those up.
Okay, he's gonna actually evacuate that 3rd base, and those SCVs, maybe they can tank a little bit for those Marines in the back. That tank is gonna go down, but at the same time trying to get that 4th base. Fungal plus Baneling plus Corrosive Bile. He really wanted those Marines to die.
Absolutely, and I think Dark's doing a pretty good job so far, but losing this hatchery would definitely suck for him. Another fungal! Oh, that fungal was brilliant there from Dark, and 2 medevacs are tanking, a bunch of Marines die.
Oh, can
Will
he
ever get the hatchery?
Just right-click on it! Oh my god, only 5 HP remaining on that 4th hatchery, which means that he still has that amazing income. Still 2 tanks, just, you know, shelling those Ravagers.
Dark is in such a brilliant position here, Funker. His army is impeccable.
Get it! Get it!
So get the hatchery!
Get the hatchery right now!
He does get the hatchery, and, you know, Dark loses a bit of that income, but his army is incredible right now, Funker.
Oh, yeah. 3 Ultralisk in the production time, and that chitinous plating, you see it on the right side completed. And is that the semifinals completed for Dark, because he's going to have an amazing shot at taking down the world champion for StarCraft 2 in 2016 in ByuN. He's in a bad spot right there. Only 1 tank and super Marine heavy against a player with Ultralisk and a lot of upgrades too.
Oh man, ByuN, just I'm trying to find a way for him to come back in this game. Like, how does he take it in good engagement against this army of Dark, which also has Vipers now as well? It basically takes all of the punch and the bowls away from the tank army. The tank part of his army, which is the big heavy hitting, heavy hitting part of it. There's only 1 tank left. It's just Marine and Marauder. Yeah, the tank part is actually kind of small with only 1 tank, but he's already producing Liberators, which is also another option to combat those Ultralisk. He's actually building a 2nd starport, and I think he already has a reactor for it. But he's getting another run by of Zerglings. They were burrowed on the natural ramp. Really, really great move by Dark, just getting a little bit more damage, burrowing some Zerglings in the natural, burrowing a Baneling, which means he has to use energy to get out, to take out those units. Really great play by Dark. He's even gonna drop with a slow overload at 12 minutes into the game. This kid is balling out of control. I wouldn't be surprised if player cam went on Dark and he was wearing like a Kangoi hat with like a big $sign wrapper necklace. I don't know what it's called, man. We got a lot of damage going down there with the Banelings, but the real story is I think that this drop is actually going to do a lot to ByuN here.
The slowest drop of all time, who's actually probably going to deal some damage, because we're talking about soon-to-be 3 attack Zerglings, and I think he has the attack upgrades for them, the speed attack for them too. 4 Ghosts in the production time. I mentioned it could be that late game situation. It's actually looking like it right now.
Yeah.
Double Spire! Double Spire by Dark. He knows. He knows that game is gonna go long. Whatever. I'm gonna have every single tech in the book.
Whatevs.
Whatevs.
You know what? If ByuN had tanks to think of, we could be having you know, those Broodlords would certainly sort them out. But oh, nice catch there. Best is always nice to pick off. Very high gas unit. And we see that ByuN's getting ship weapons. ByuN is getting the tier 3 late game army here. With the Liberators and the Marine count getting up there, and the Ghost as well. That is the anti-Ultralisk army here.
Yep, Liberator 4x4 and Ghost, as you mentioned. Those 2 Zerglings just unburrowed in the main, just dealing a little bit of damage. It's just, you know, pulling a little bit ByuN apart. He needs to he needs to defend a lot of different things. He actually lost the add-on on this one. The Tech Lab will have to be remade, and he also needs to get a 5th base like as soon as possible for Dark. I guess another run by right here by Dark, super crisp in the run by departments ever since the beginning of the best of 5.
I would hate to be an SCV if Dark was my opponent.
I would hate to be ByuN actually, just playing. Well, I would love to be ByuN because I would be super sick
I'd be
at
really
the game.
rich too.
But also, yeah, but also pretty frustrated about playing that guy Dark because he's just playing an amazing game on this one, but not finishing it up like as we mentioned probably 3 minutes ago. So that game could actually go either way now.
Well, with this army that Dark's allowed ByuN to get, he definitely could trade very well against Dark here. Single siege tanks carrying Dark away. The snipe killing an Ultralisk there. Definitely not something Dark wants to keep doing. That's a very expensive unit.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to face that kind of army, especially when you're attacking. Like when the Terran player actually goes inside the creep, he's gonna go for it. But those Ultralisks are taking a beating from the Liberators and the few from the Ghosts. Those two Ultralisks are so low on HP. It's gonna lose one, but the second one is gonna chomp away that Marine Marauder composition once again. Circling run by, it's never gonna stop.
Yeah, the king of run by himself will just never stop. Can't stop, won't stop. The Dark train has no brakes. He's actually identified the weakness in his army is that his corrupt account, his anti-air is not that great, and he needs to get it up there to deal with the Liberators and the medevacs of the bio as well. This army's actually catching ByuN a little bit out of position here.
Yeah, not gonna bother defending another base from by Dark. Just gonna go for the counter-attack, but the interception with the Fungals and the Banelings coming from the right. What? That was so sick. That army was so expensive by ByuN, and such an amazing clutch play by Dark, just getting the best out of that engagement. That was just stellar by Dark.
I think he's finally done it, Bunker. His 60 army supply up. The Baileys are coming in. That's it. Dark wins. GG. 3-2. He's going to be your semi-finalist, and he's going to face Innovation for a spot in the grand final of Intel Extreme Masters. Gyeonggi. Put Funker's camera on right now. Look at his face, that is Craigasm face right there.
What? We mentioned how infestors could be key in the ZvT matchup, but the way he handled that, I'm gonna counterattack you, and at some point, those juicy units, those ghosts, those tanks, those medivacs, they're gonna be alone by themselves, and that's the moment he tries to hit with Fungals, and that's the thing. He doesn't even just get the Fungals. He also has that 12 Baneling coming from the right side and destroying everything. That was just perfection.
It was. Every Fungal seemed like that entire circle of Fungal was filled with units. It's incredible. But guys, with the end of that is actually the final best of 5 for the day. Before we close, though, we're going to be looking at the results overall for the day and look at the matchups of the players. So here is the bracket for the rest of the tournament, guys. It's a nice little maze there. There's a bracket on top of it, I swear. There it is. So there's the results for today. Stats getting over Maru with a 3-1 series. Innovation smashing Trust with a 3-0. ByuN and Sue with the longest ZvZ I've seen in a long time. 3-2. Such a close match there. And another close match. The best match you can hope for in StarCraft with ByuN versus Dark. Dark edging over the opponent there, getting his revenge on the world champion.
Yeah, I always love the quarterfinal day. It's just a lot of different best of 5 that you get, like a lot of different matchups, everything. Just going, the long way, the 3-2 between Dark and ByuN, the 3-2 between those two Zergs, Sue and ByuN. Just an amazing day, and look at those semifinals matchup.
Oh my god.
Dark Innovation and Stats against ByuN. We will be starting with Dark versus Innovation in a ZvT, actually, to start off the day. And then Stats and ByuN will face off just after in a PvZ. It's just going to be an amazing day. So one semi tomorrow and one semi the day after that.
That's right.
Gonna take it slow.
It's going to be a little bit light, so make sure that you do not miss it. You can't shoot in late. You want to be there for game number 1. I mean, I'm sure that you would anyway, because you guys are really cool StarCraft fans out there that don't like to miss any games. But that is the way it's going to be structured here for the rest of the tournament, and it's going to be at the Gyeonggi venue, I believe, as well.
Yeah. We'll eventually get to meet all those Korean fans that will be there to cheer for those players, because you know.
Also, one last thing.
Yes.
For you guys watching at home that may not know, this is a sick life hack. Get into Google and actually Google 1400 KST, and it'll give you your local time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Do that right now so that you know what time you need. Wherever you are around the world, you'll know exactly where to be for this stream, which will be on Twitch TV, ESL_SC2. And guys, with that, we're going to wrap things up for a brilliant day of quarterfinals here at the International Masters in Gyeonggi. I said that way too fast.
Yeah.
Semi-finals starting tomorrow, guys. We'll see you then.